A court in Israel has ordered an early end to the country's first nationwide strike over the government's handling of the crisis in Gaza. And we'll be live to Tel Aviv in a moment for developments in Israel, where up to 500,000 people are protesting across the country. The United Nations has reiterated the pressing need for a halt to the war. UN Chief António Guterres, on a visit to Singapore, spoke exclusively to CNA's Loke about what needs to be done to end the fighting and about the wider challenges the UN faces in resolving global conflict.
We must be clear in condemning the terror attacks by Hamas that were absolutely unacceptable, but also clear in saying that what we have witnessed as a military operation in Gaza, the level of death and destruction that we have witnessed, is also absolutely intolerable. And so, first of all, hostages need to be released and need to be released immediately and unconditionally. To have hostages is a violation of international law, international humanitarian law. It is a totally unacceptable practice. But at the same time, we need to stop the fighting. We need to stop the suffering of the people of Gaza. And the suffering that we have seen in Gaza, the level of death and destruction we have seen in Gaza, is unprecedented in my mandate as Secretary General in any other part of the world.
Loss of life on that scale, even one is a great deal, let alone tens of thousands. But you've had a Security Council resolution actually passing in March, in which they called for a month of ceasefire in the month of Ramadan and also for release of hostages. Now, a lot of blame on deadlock, gridlock within the Security Council, but in that instance, this resolution actually passed. Nothing has happened substantially to stop the fighting and to bring the hostages home.
I think we have two kinds of problems. First of all, we have a problem of the Security Council itself that was created after the Second World War with a composition that doesn't correspond to the world as the world it is today. And on the other hand, the geopolitical divisions have made it very difficult for the Security Council to take decisions. But sometimes the Security Council is able to take a decision, and you mentioned one. The problem is to implement that decision. And another of the consequences of the geopolitical divide, the fact that superpowers are at odds with each other, is that no other country today is afraid of anything. And so they see a resolution of the Security Council, but they are not afraid that the powers will impose it. What it creates is a sense of impunity. It's a sense that anybody can do whatever they want because nothing will happen to them. And so we see countries that systematically repudiate the decision of the Security Council. This time it was Israel, but you see the same in other crises in other parts of the world.